Most people assume that once a star hits it big and starts banking that serious cash, their life changes completely. But what if that megawatt fame and fortune didn't alter their lives that much? Here are some of the biggest names in show business who, in spite of their stratospheric success, have managed to stay down to earth. Jay Leno. One of the most famous late-night talk show hosts of all time, the incomparable Jay Leno has built up a considerable following over his 30-year career, along with some major bank, with an estimated net worth around $350 million. However, Leno learned how to save in his formative years, reportedly working 2 jobs in his youth, saying, "I'd spend the money from one job and save the money from the other." That strategy has lasted a lifetime. He later told 60 Minutes,
I always tell new people in show business, I say, look, show business pays you a lot of money because eventually you're going to get screwed. And when you get screwed, you will have this pile of money off to the side. All ready?
Since retiring from The Tonight Show, the wages for which he reportedly put entirely into savings, Leno has lived purely off the proceeds from his lucrative stand-up career. He might have a serious predilection for collecting classic cars, but according to the funny man himself, he has yet to spend even a dime of his television earnings. Sarah Jessica Parker. She'll always be Carrie Bradshaw to most of her fans, a character who, in spite of submitting maybe 1,000 words of copy a week, managed to live in a $7,000 a month apartment in New York City while hoarding Manolos and throwing back Cosmos on the daily. According to The Richest, Sarah Jessica Parker is worth an estimated $90 million in real life. So if she wanted to buy a new pair of Louis Vuittons every week, she could. However, in a 2008 interview with Parade, Parker extolled the virtues of working hard for your money, revealing how she dressed her son, James Wilkie, in hand-me-down clothing throughout his younger years. The actress grew up on welfare and inherited a frugal outlook, now living in a modest brownstone in NYC with her husband, Matthew Broderick, and their 3 kids. As for dressing herself in the latest threads, Parker supposedly had her choice of Carrie's clothes once Sex and the City wrapped, so she probably doesn't need to fork over for new stuff for herself too often either. Sarah Michelle Gellar. Another A-lister who learned to live frugally thanks to a difficult upbringing is Buffy herself, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Gellar, whose father left the family when she was a young child, isn't ashamed of using coupons and striving to get the best deal wherever she shops, crediting her mother with teaching her to live modestly. When she's not busy saving the world from encroaching vampires, or more often these days being a mother to her 2 kids, the actor told Self that she frequently uses coupons and buys fish at Whole Foods only when it's on sale. She told the mag, "I clip coupons all the time. Why should you pay more for something that someone else is paying less for?" Tyra Banks. It's tough to imagine this multi-hyphenate business mogul, supermodel, Harvard Business School grad, and creator of Smizing as a simple living person. But in reality, Banks learned a lot from her mother, who traveled with her and assisted in Banks' early career as a model, teaching her how to make her earnings last. In a 2008 interview with the New York Times, Banks openly described herself as frugal. As a kid, she saved a little bit from her weekly allowance, and she admits that these days her only real indulgences are food and luxury toiletries. Banks even admitted to Forbes, "I'll ask my accountant if I can afford something," which seems crazy for a woman worth an estimated $90 million, but maybe that's how she keeps it. Dave Grohl. He's a member of 2 of the biggest rock bands of all time, but Dave Grohl still lives like a jobbing musician. Although his stints with Nirvana and the Foo Fighters have netted him a cool $225 million, Grohl fears spending too much too fast. In a 2003 interview, the rock star confessed that, in spite of having plenty of money to live off, he's afraid to spend it. The multi-instrumentalist is reportedly wary of ending up broke because he never got his high school diploma. But as long as the Foos continue to sell out arenas worldwide, there's no need to worry about his career slowing down anytime soon. Zooey Deschanel. She headlines a hugely successful TV show, but new girl star Zooey Deschanel hasn't let her considerable success go to her head. Deschanel may currently be raking in a massive $125,000 per episode, but she's anything but flashy. Court documents, revealed to tabloids in the midst of her 2012 divorce from Death Cab for Cutie's Ben Gibbard, showcased a frugal spender with eyes set on future financial security. The TMZ published report showed that although the actor was bringing in almost $100,000 per month at the time, her expense sheet totaled just $22,500, including less than $1,000 in utility bills, with another $2,000 dedicated to charitable donations. On top of this, nearly half of her total assets were safely held in bank accounts, with the rest spread out across stocks, bonds, and real estate. And her 3 credit cards had 0 balances. Not bad for someone who could easily afford to max them all out each month without feeling the slightest pinch. Jennifer Lawrence. J-Law is one of the most famous and highly paid actors on the planet, scoring an Oscar for her role in Silver Linings Playbook and spearheading the hugely lucrative Hunger Games franchise, among a multitude of other projects. Now reportedly worth $75 million, Lawrence claims not much has changed in her life since her massive career explosion, with the Oscar winner even continuing to live in the same apartment as before she was famous, until she recently bought Jessica Simpson's former house in Beverly Hills. She told Fabulous magazine in 2013, "I was raised to have value for money, to have respect for money, even though you have a lot of it." Lawrence also does not employ a personal assistant and shops for bargains herself, all while driving a sensible Chevy Volt. Kristen Bell. She played Veronica Mars for years before graduating to massive movie mega hits like Forgetting Sarah Marshall and Frozen, and now she's married to Parenthood star Dax Shepard, with 2 kids to top it all off. But Bell hasn't let fame alter her spending habits. In spite of the couple's combined net worth of over $20 million, their wedding was very low-key. As the actress described to Ellen,
"It was the 2 of us and $142 in legal fees. And we signed our name on a piece of paper."
And that included gas to drive to their courthouse wedding. She even joked with Flaunt magazine about how she and Shepard are hillbillies at heart. In an interview with Conan, Bell went into hilarious detail about how frugal she is, sharing her hottest couponing tip with the host.
"The best coupon you can get, possibly in the world, is the Bed Bath & Beyond coupon."
Clearly, she's not just a master detective on TV, but one in real life too. Ballin' on a budget. The old adage still applies. Money doesn't buy you happiness. Maybe true happiness comes from good family values and spending within your means. If Buffy doesn't want to pay more for her shopping than everyone else, why should we? So on that day when you hit the big time, consider taking a page out of these celebs' super frugal down-to-earth playbooks and stay true to your roots. Thanks for watching. Click the list icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus check out this other cool stuff we know you'll love too.